and now we're going to do that thing that I mentioned very early on, which is to say roses and fucking thorns.
Everyone's least favorite.
So everybody needs to say one thing they enjoyed about the game and one thing they didn't. I'm not going to be a hard ass because this was the first time we did it. If you can't think of anything, just don't worry about it. I'm not going to punish you or anything for not saying. So, does anyone want to start?
I can go first.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
I dig the characters. I love interacting with Puck the Duck. And, I didn't get a chance to interact much with the father figure, but I could see talking with him or, just interacting with people.
I regret not naming characters more. I should bring a notebook so that I can actually write down what characters' names are and keep track of that. I should drink less so that I can do that as well, because I'm way too frazzled right now to try and even think of that. But Puck is an old recurring character. Puck's sort of a joke character. He appears in every Torith game that I run at least once as like a bum, basically. I try and make him useless just because I don't like the idea of sort of DNPCs who can crush everybody. Like, Puck is dangerous. He's probably more dangerous than you guys are, just because you guys chose to do that low fantasy route, where you guys aren't adventurers yet, necessarily. Mm-hmm. And you guys picked up on that, which is good, as players. Do you have something you don't like?
I think we probably went on a little too long, especially with your laptop dying, running on fumes there at the end.
Yeah, I'm surprised it did. Usually it warns me. I'm going to need to bring a charger for sure next time. And do you have a extension cord? Just in case I can't reach.
I mean, there's plugs everywhere.
We'll figure it out.
Power bar.
I'll bring a power bar next time, hopefully, too. That's definitely something I can very easily work towards, so I appreciate that. Kevin and Jay, do either of you want to go first?
Thorns, just from a sort of a listener standpoint, a lot of times when it's sort of longer descriptions, a lot of ums and things like that, and I get it. It's hard to do. It's just something that once you start thinking about it more and more, eventually you sort of just... It's okay to do pauses and stuff instead of doing an Really cementing the point there.
Beautiful.
You're welcome.
Beautiful. Yeah, I should actually know better than that. Fuck.
When
You're going to hear it every time.
It's mainly just in the sort of the descriptions when sort of describing places and things like that. When we were doing the interactions with like Puck and things like that, it was perfect. It was like...
It is really hard for me to do that. I'm getting better at writing descriptions. One thing that I do for just writing is I write as words come to me in my head. Mm-hmm. That means... That means that what I do is that I write just everything that comes to my head immediately when I'm writing a story without stopping, and then I can edit it down later. Training myself not to say and is going to be tricky, but...
Probably. That's what I do.
Hopefully by the second or third,
Once you start thinking about it, it just gets better.
Hopefully by the second or third session, I'll get much better at that. Thank you for bringing it to my notice. Is there something that you liked about the game?
I mean, I just a big part of it is that I like the sort of player interaction, because I know in the past when I did a lot of D&D, sometimes table talk would sort of get out of hand.
For sure.
Just as having it mostly focused on just the story is great.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot more in character talk than we've ever had.
There's been no dice gambling on the side.
I encourage you guys to talk to NPCs more as people, especially if you enjoy them like you did, Ian. Every time now. But it's good, because I'll learn, and that's important, because I'm going to be the one talking 30 to 40% of the time.
Or more.
More. The next 2 sessions are going to be me punching myself in the stomach. But, yes, talk to NPCs more, because just saying anything to them will get a reaction from them.
Yeah.
If I can think of it, which I might not be able to, but I should be able to as a DM. That's sort of my job. And that means that you guys are getting rumors or just fragments of people's opinions. And that's very useful for you as characters to situate yourself in the world of the story, to make the story world more real. And you need that as merchants.
And I think it's also super important that we have these conversations, because we don't do insight checks and things like that because of sort of the house ruling. We need to actually engage in conversations so that we do get a sense of
who's lying, who's trustworthy.
It's one thing that I'm
excited about.
Finding tricky just as a first session thing is that it's tricky for me to interrupt you guys. Maybe I should come up with a signal to make you guys stop talking.
Sure. Just
so that I can say, like, this is the character's physical reaction to this.
Okay.
Halfway through your statement. because that might change how your statement goes. I'll try and act those out as much as I can, but I'm not a professional actor or anything. I try and do voices. I try and act as much as I can, and that's useful as a dungeon master or a games master, I think. But it's tricky for me to do that.
Oh, and I have to say your accent's far better than mine.
Your accent's garbage.
How do you know it's close?
Your accent's complete garbage.
You
You went from vaguely Scottish, but not really.
It's distinctly me, though.
That's the part that matters, right? We know when you're talking and when you're not talking in character.
Yes. Jay, your accent is complete trash. I respect you far more than Ian or Kevin, who use their normal fucking voices.
Yeah. Coming up with an actual one's going to be part of it.
I hope my accents have been, like,
no, they're good. I
try and keep it subtle because I have to do so many. Women's voices are especially tricky.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
I know
Look forward to that.
I've done one already. Kind of.
You did?
With the woman
lady
talking to him. Generally, I just try and make my voice lighter and more breathier. It's tricky because men tend to overdo women's voices when they do them.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that people do when they first try and pretend to be women, is like make obviously fake bad names, bad impressions, and that's something I am very conscious of.
That's been good. I actually really enjoyed the accents.
Thank you. Yeah. Kevin, I'm afraid you're last, so if you don't have anything, fuck you.
Rose, alright, you have put up with my magical bullshit so far, which is great.
It hasn't been bad at all so far.
Continue that. Yeah, no, but
you
even let me look for find familiar stuff, which is, definitely not something you needed to do. I haven't got into using the main cantrip that will make up the majority of my magic use, which is Shape Water.
Right.
And that's going to get, kind of stupid at points. I'm gonna be running a lot of it by you. The nice part about it being is if it fails, it can just fail, and you can be like, whatever.
So I want you guys to be creative. That's why I'm taking out perception and insight and persuasion checks, because I want you guys to be thinking about how you phrase things and how the world works and stuff like that. And to me, being a wizard is like being a wizard in real life. It's about being cunning and making up tricks and illusions or whatever to influence the world as much as you can. One of my favorite character archetypes, as you guys know but the audience doesn't, is the Marvella the Magnificent, the wizard who is not a wizard but is just pretending. And so I appreciate that you're going to run Shape of Water by me, and please do tell me if you ever think that I'm being unfair with you. I say that to everyone, including the audience. Feel free to tell me if you think that I'm being unfair with the players, because I want to at least hear it. I might not agree with you, but I at least want to hear it. But as a dungeon master, I want to give you the opportunity to be creative and quote-unquote play the game with your spells. Because as a wizard, you are spells. And if you can use cantrips to trick your way around an ogre fight that you would be killed in otherwise, murdered in otherwise, I want to give you that opportunity. I'm still saying
Hey man, everyone here is going to say it. It's just that
we're aware of it. It's very important that you raised it, and I appreciate it. It was one of the better things that was said. I need to bring a notebook for you, Ian. Okay,
so yeah, just to clarify,
be fair with me, and I'll try and be fair with you. If I ever feel that you're being unfair, I will definitely tell you.
Yeah,
I do not care. I will beat you up verbally, and maybe physically, because the audience can't tell. But please tell me if you ever think that I'm not being fair with you, and we'll find a middle ground.
Yeah. So
you're my friend.
What it's going to probably end up being a lot is I will be going, okay, I'm going to use Shape Water here, or whatever my spell is.
Yep.
This is the outcome I'm expecting.
Right.
You're going to turn around and go, yes, no, maybe so, whatever. And then I'm just going to do it with the hope that outcome comes across anyway. So if it says no, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so what I'm going to say here is, tell me what you're doing first. Like, physically describe what happens.
Yeah.
Then tell me what you expect to happen, because that gives me an opportunity from just, while you're explaining what physically happens, for me to say,
up with your own idea.
What is the goblin's reaction to this? What is Puck's reaction to this? What is Ian, not Ian's, because you're a player and you have your own reaction. Mm-hmm. And I've already overstepped my bounds a little bit as a DM there, I feel, by like putting words into your characters' mouths, which fortunately you guys corrected me on and continue to do that. But yes,
So yeah,
do it in that order.
The whole find familiar thing is a complete. I hope this works.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it. You're going to tell me if it works or not afterwards, and I'm still going to have done it, and that's going to how that most of my magic's going to apply out.
I'm surprised that you wanted to cast Find Familiar, because as a player and as a DM, a lot of the time I'm willing to let you as players cast spells before the game happens, but before the game starts, right? Because you were a wizard, you knew Find Familiar before we had a session.
Yep.
You could have bought the ingredients and cast it.
I could have.
And I would have been fine with that. Now you haven't, and I appreciate that you've put that limit on yourself, because now you have that much more to adventure for, which is great, and I appreciate that, and I'll have to give you guys a benefit for that later at some time when bandits attack you or something. You have to be that much more kind to you. But I am glad that you did that. You didn't have to, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I could have started the game with my familiar.
So you've done roses, you haven't done thorns yet.
I haven't done thorns. Thorns you kind of covered it yourself
Okay.
and overstepping your boundaries a couple of times.
Yes.
I screwed up multiple times during my oath. 2 of them were on purpose.
Okay.
One was calling the guy Weasel, and the other one was intentionally leaving out part of the I will bring blah blah to the Archmage thing.
Right.
Which
Which
made me
may or may
repeat
not
the
be
word
edited out,
for.
so you may
And
not
I'm
know
not
this happens.
100% sure if you were like, hey, you idiot, read the thing properly, or you were actually just reacting.
Well, I wasn't sure if you were misreading it or if you were saying that in character or not.
Yeah, that's the point of this. You have to, or hopefully get to the point where you trust us as players enough to know the rules well enough that we can just go with it.
Yeah.
And then just react accordingly.
But I think without accents, it's impossible to tell because you're using the same voice. Like I feel.
Yeah, it's partially
Well-
not. Hey, not all the rose and thorns are against
You
him
didn't.
directly.
You didn't yell at me at all, and I feel like that's where that trust comes from. I
I'm
I
talking
agree with you
character.
that like I need to trust you guys more for sure. This is, like I said, the house rules are a contract that you guys have not signed, but essentially you have by agreeing to be in this game. And I hope that you guys feel that I'm being fair to you. And if you ever feel that I'm not, I want you to tell me. So that's part of it. I didn't know that, but I'm glad that you didn't feel that I was overstepping my boundaries by making you repeat it.
You made me repeat it, which
Yeah.
I was like.
Is that good or bad?
Originally, I was like, "That's a bad thing," because I thought it was you as a DM just being like,
No, that was in
repeat
character.
this." And then eventually it was, okay, no, he's in character doing this.
Yeah,
that
was in character.
And then later on, the thing where it's like, I'm talking in character to the party, and you're just like, what the hell are you doing? You're talking off the table.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to have to take the point where you trust us to know the
So,
rules.
just-
And I have to do the same back to you because the same thing.
Just for the audience, this is the first time that we've really done that kind of table talk rule. We tried to do it in the last game we did, which we didn't record, unfortunately, because it was a good game, I think. I'm sure the other players have their own opinions on that, good or bad. That was the Legend of the Five Rings game, Jay.
Yeah, that was great.
Oh, it was this thing.
It was a thing. So we tried to do that, but we forgot a lot. This is a more serious version of that, partially because we weren't playing in public and we were playing with sort of semi-strangers. Yeah, trust is going to be something that we have to form with each other over the course of this. And please have patience with me, and I will try to... I will have patience with you. I won't say I will try. I will have patience with you. I promise that.
Yeah.
I will swear that oath, at least.
It's not only directed. I need to do the whole trust thing
Yes.
just as much as anybody else.
I think I'm glad you exposed that because it proves to me that I am learning as much as you guys are in that regard. I am a human being as much as you are, and I will try to improve myself as much as I can in future to make sure that I trust you guys. This kind of, like D&D, trust is very important in any relationship, whether that's a friendly relationship or a romantic relationship or anything. And we're going to need to work on making sure that that exists and that our communication exists and that we're comfortable honestly talking with each other. So that's something to work on. I will get a notebook to write down names and make sure the characters are better and everything's better taken care of. I will drink less. I wanted to for this first session.
Yeah, it was good.
You had, what was your one again?
Oh, the ums.
The ums?
Yeah.
I will work on not saying I hope you guys do too.
It'll work on my probablys.
I will work on trusting you guys more and being comfortable with you and communicating with you. And I hope you as players all work on communicating with me. Going off of that, I hope that you as an audience enjoyed this first session. I hope you look forward to our next one. I hope you look forward to the adventure whenever the hell it starts.
And as an important note, this is sort of the first time a lot of us are doing many of these rules and things like that, so we will get better.
We will.
Hopefully.
Almost
certainly.
Yeah.
So
that's definitely what this discussion was about. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please communicate with me just like I want my players to. If you feel that this could be done better in some way, I might pay attention to it. I might not.
I will for sure.
Well, I mean, I'll read it. I'll definitely read it.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Good night.